Welcome to another episode of Buddhist Echoes. Today, we're diving deep into the mystical world of numbers, specifically, the powerful energies of 22 and 17. These numbers are not just random digits. They carry profound spiritual significance, resonating with universal truths that have been revered across ancient traditions. In Buddhist philosophy, numbers like 22 and 17 are not mere mathematical tools, they are spiritual guides, each offering valuable lessons about balance, perseverance, and the integration of material and spiritual success. As we explore these numbers, you'll discover how they can illuminate your path to inner peace, success, and spiritual growth. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video insightful. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an enlightening episode. Share this video with anyone who could benefit from these timeless teachings. And feel free to leave a comment below with your thoughts, reflections, or questions. We'd love to hear how these spiritual principles resonate with your life. Numbers as spiritual guides in Buddhism and their mystical power. Numbers have long been revered as symbols of divine energy in various ancient traditions, including Buddhism. Rather than being merely abstract mathematical tools, they are regarded as spiritual symbols that resonate with the universe's rhythms and energies. This resonance is particularly significant in guiding us toward prosperity, success, and inner peace. When we engage with numbers not only as figures, but as spiritual markers, we open ourselves to deeper meanings that can shape our lives in transformative ways. The mystical power of numbers in Buddhism. Buddhism offers us a unique perspective on numbers, suggesting that they are more than just figures on a page. They are, in fact, spiritual forces that align us with universal truths. According to Buddhist teachings, numbers can serve as reflections of the universe's natural order, embodying qualities like balance, harmony, and mindfulness. For example, the number 3 in Buddhism symbolizes the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, representing the fundamental pillars of Buddhist belief. Similarly, the number 8 embodies the Noble Eightfold Path, offering a guide to living a life of moral clarity, wisdom, and mental discipline. In this context, numbers are seen not just as numerals, but as powerful symbols that mirror the cosmos, and our place within it. Understanding numbers in this way invites us to see them as much more than arbitrary symbols. They become windows into a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, just as the Buddha taught us to observe and understand the impermanence of all things. Numbers too reflect the cyclical nature of life. When we embrace this perspective, we can tap into a universal flow of energy that can guide our actions, intentions, and aspirations. The number 22, the master builder of both material and spiritual realms. Numbers are not mere abstractions or tools for measurement. In many ancient traditions, particularly in mysticism and numerology, numbers are considered to hold a profound spiritual energy. Buddhism, with its rich history of metaphysical exploration, is no exception. In this context, the number 22 is more than just a number. It is a cosmic signpost guiding us towards the creation of something enduring, both materially and spiritually. In the teachings of Buddhism, particularly those steeped in Mahayana principles, the number 22 corresponds to the concept of the master builder. This number is not a simple guide to external success, but rather a profound lesson in how to align the physical and spiritual realms, creating a harmonious balance that leads to fulfillment. The number 22 is often associated with upaya, or skillful means, the ability to navigate life's challenges and opportunities with wisdom, patience, and foresight. Just as an architect carefully designs a building, a person in tune with the energy of the number 22 constructs a life that serves both their material needs and their spiritual aspirations. The sacred role of the master builder in Buddhist thought. The notion of the master builder in Buddhism is deeply connected to the concept of upaya, which literally means skillful means. Upaya refers to the art of applying wisdom in a way that is attuned to the circumstances and needs of others, transforming not only the external world but also the internal world of consciousness. The idea behind upaya is that a spiritual path is not about blindly following prescribed rules, but rather about using one's wisdom and insight to navigate life's complexities. The number 22, in its essence, is about the balance between the material and the spiritual. It invites us to reflect on how we are constructing our own lives. The foundation of a fulfilling life requires both physical effort and spiritual discipline. In Buddhist thought, this requires mindfulness and awareness. The master builder archetype reminds us that life, much like a building, requires careful planning. What are we building? Is it merely a structure designed for worldly success? Or is it something that reflects our higher spiritual purpose? How do we bring these two aspects together? The Buddha himself embodied the idea of a master builder. While he did not renounce the material world, he transcended attachment to it. He lived with a profound awareness of the impermanence of all things, anicca. This awareness helped him construct a life that was not defined by wealth or fame, but by peace, wisdom, and compassion. The number 22 calls upon us to consider how we can blend spiritual growth with material goals. Are we creating a life that aligns with our deeper values? Or are we simply accumulating wealth and status without deeper purpose? The importance of vision and patience in the journey of building. The number 22 is associated with vision. Just as an architect must have a grand vision of the building before construction begins, we too must approach our lives with clarity and foresight. In Buddhism, right view, the first aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path, is essential for navigating life wisely. The right view is a perspective grounded in understanding the true nature of reality. Without this vision, we may end up constructing a life that is out of alignment with our higher self, driven instead by temporary desires or external pressures. Furthermore, the number 22 teaches us the virtue of patience. In Buddhist teachings, impermanence is a central theme. Nothing in this world remains static. Everything is in a constant state of flux. When we begin to construct our lives, we may become impatient with the pace of progress. However, just as a building takes time to rise from the foundation, so does our spiritual growth. The number 22 teaches that patience is necessary to ensure that the life we build is strong enough to withstand the inevitable storms that life will bring. A personal anecdote that highlights the lessons of 22 comes from the journey of a successful entrepreneur I met years ago. He had always been driven by a strong business acumen, but what set him apart was his ability to maintain a deep sense of inner peace. Even during times of financial struggle, his business was built upon a foundation of mindfulness, where every investment he made was aligned with his personal values and long-term goals. The number 22 guided him in his decision-making, reminding him to take calculated risks and make choices based on his spiritual beliefs rather than fleeting desires for quick gains. This story reflects how, by integrating spiritual wisdom with material pursuits, one can build something enduring. 22 and the integration of material and spiritual goals. The number 22 teaches us that true fulfillment is not about abandoning the material world, but rather about transforming it through spiritual wisdom. This is deeply in line with the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha did not encourage people to completely withdraw from the world, but he did teach that attachment to the material world can lead to suffering. In modern times, this can be understood as the integration of our material ambitions with our spiritual journey. The number 22 is a powerful reminder that we must cultivate balance. Too often, we are pulled in the direction of external success, defined by wealth, status, and recognition. In a capitalist society, success is often measured by how much we have accumulated or how high we have climbed the social ladder. However, Buddhism teaches that material wealth does not lead to lasting happiness. True happiness comes from inner peace and the wisdom to see beyond the surface of things, embracing both material ambitions and spiritual aspirations. The Buddha's teachings on middle path can serve as a guide for integrating material and spiritual goals. The middle path encourages us to avoid extremes, neither indulgence nor asceticism, but to find balance in all aspects of life. The number 22 reflects this principle, urging us to cultivate a life that is grounded both in our practical needs and in the deeper understanding of the impermanent nature of all things. For example, consider a person who is striving to build a career. They might be motivated by a desire for success, but the number 22 teaches them to consider whether their ambitions align with their spiritual values. Are they sacrificing their inner peace or well-being for the sake of financial success? Or are they taking deliberate, mindful actions that align with their long-term spiritual aspirations? The number 22 asks us to reflect on how we can approach our careers, relationships, and personal development in a way that integrates both the material and the spiritual. The key to manifesting both material success and spiritual growth is to cultivate patience. Just as a tree grows slowly, with its roots becoming deeply embedded in the soil before bearing fruit, so must our spiritual practices. In the same way, the fruits of our material efforts will take time to ripen. The number 22 calls us to stay committed to the process, trusting that with careful planning, perseverance, and mindfulness, we will eventually see the results of our efforts. The role of values in decision-making. The number 22 encourages us to take a long, hard look at the values we hold dear and how those values shape our decisions. Buddhism emphasizes right intention, making choices that are rooted in compassion, wisdom, and non-harm. This principle is vital for ensuring that our decisions lead to lasting fulfillment. Whether in business, relationships, or personal development, our values serve as the compass that guides our choices. A critical question the number 22 asks is, what do we truly value? It urges us to align our actions with our inner values rather than external expectations or fleeting desires. For example, the Buddha encouraged his followers to cultivate generosity, kindness, and ethical conduct. These values must be at the heart of our decisions. When we operate from a place of wisdom and compassion, we begin to see that our material and spiritual goals are not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of a larger whole. Consider again the entrepreneur who aligned his business with his spiritual values. By doing so, he was able to maintain peace of mind and make decisions that served his long-term well-being, rather than chasing after short-term profits. The number 22 teaches us that our values should inform every decision we make, especially those that relate to our professional and personal lives. By acting with integrity, we can build a life that is not only successful, but also fulfilling in a deeper, more spiritual sense. The number 17, resilience and the path of perseverance. The number 17 carries with it a deep, spiritual significance that speaks to the heart of perseverance, resilience, and disciplined action, while the number 22 serves as a guide for building solid foundations. 17 embodies the fortitude required to sustain and nourish that foundation through life's inevitable challenges. In Buddhist philosophy, perseverance is not merely about enduring hardship. It's about cultivating the inner strength to remain committed to the path of practice, even when the road is fraught with difficulties. The strength of perseverance in Buddhist philosophy. Perseverance, or virya, diligence, is one of the 6 perfections, paramithas, in Buddhist teachings, each of which serves to guide the practitioner toward enlightenment. Virya is the energy that propels us forward, sustaining our practice, even when the fruits of our labor are not immediately apparent. The number 17 captures this essence perfectly, serving as a reminder that spiritual progress requires consistent effort, patience, and steadfastness over time. In Buddhist thought, perseverance is viewed not merely as an act of endurance, but as an essential virtue that nurtures the development of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental clarity. The process of awakening involves many trials, be it the fluctuations of the mind, emotional turbulence, or external challenges. Without perseverance, the practitioner would be easily swayed by the stormy tides of life. The energy of 17, however, invites us to meet these challenges with equanimity, knowing that the path is not about instant results, but about consistent, purposeful progress. The life of the Buddha himself stands as a powerful testament to the virtue of perseverance. Born into privilege, the Buddha was eventually confronted with the stark reality of suffering, leading him to abandon his royal life in search of a solution. His journey was one marked by immense trials, from deep meditation under the Bodhi tree to confronting the forces of Mara, the embodiment of temptation and distraction. Yet through it all, the Buddha remained steadfast, never swaying from his commitment to understanding the true nature of suffering and the path to liberation. The energy of the number 17 mirrors the Buddha's commitment. The journey is not always smooth or immediate, but it is a sustained effort, built on faith, diligence, and the willingness to stay on the path even when the fruits of our practice are hidden from view. The path of diligence and consistency. In Buddhism, perseverance is closely tied to the understanding of impermanence, anicca. Everything in the world, from our thoughts to our physical form, is subject to change. Our meditation practice, our emotional states, and even our external circumstances are constantly in flux. In this light, perseverance becomes a practice of aligning with the ever-changing nature of reality. It is not about forcing things to happen on our terms, but about accepting the unfolding process and trusting that the effort will eventually bear fruit. The number 17 teaches us that progress is not always visible, especially in the early stages of our practice or when we are faced with obstacles. This can be frustrating, as the desire for instant results often leads to discouragement. However, true progress requires the discipline to stay committed to the process, day by day, without expecting immediate outcomes. It is this steady, sustained effort that forms the foundation for deeper wisdom and understanding. Just as a small seed slowly grows into a mighty tree, so too does the practitioner's wisdom unfold gradually over time. 17 and the role of faith in overcoming challenges. Another profound lesson that emerges from the number 17 is the role of faith in sustaining perseverance. In Buddhist philosophy, faith, sada, is not a blind belief in external forces or doctrines, but a deep, abiding trust in the transformative potential of the Buddha's teachings. It is the trust that the path we walk, though difficult at times, leads to liberation, and that every step taken in alignment with the Dharma will eventually bring us closer to understanding. This type of faith is not the naive hope for things to go our way, but a grounded belief in the effectiveness of practice, whether meditation, mindfulness, ethical conduct, or wisdom. When we encounter setbacks, it is easy to lose faith in the path and question whether we are on the right track. But faith is not the absence of doubt. It is the resilience to continue despite doubt. The number 17 speaks to this kind of inner strength, reminding us that even in moments of uncertainty, faith provides the solid foundation needed to keep moving forward. In my own experience, I have often found that moments of struggle in my practice coincide with the appearance of the number 17, whether dealing with personal setbacks or emotional turbulence. It is in these moments that the reminder of 17, resilience, faith, and persistence becomes crucial. I remember facing a particularly difficult period in a project I was working on, when everything seemed to fall apart. It was during these moments of challenge that I encountered the number 17 repeatedly, which served as a subtle reminder to continue moving forward. The results did not come overnight, but with the quiet determination to trust the process, things slowly began to shift. The number 17, therefore, is not only a reminder to persevere, but also to cultivate a deep trust in the unfolding of life. Whether we are facing difficulties in our personal lives, our spiritual practice, or our professional endeavors, perseverance requires a faith that, although the path may be long and the results may take time, the effort itself is never wasted. Each step we take, no matter how small, brings us closer to realization. Faith as the bridge to spiritual success. Faith in Buddhism is akin to the belief in the law of karma, the understanding that our actions, whether positive or negative, create consequences in the future. Thus, faith is not merely abstract belief, it is an active engagement with the law of cause and effect. When we make a commitment to the spiritual path, we are engaging in an act of faith that our efforts, over time, will lead to liberation. The number 17 reminds us that this faith is what sustains us through difficult times. It is the unwavering belief that our practice, no matter how difficult, is bringing us closer to peace and understanding. In the context of daily life, this kind of faith in our practice manifests in a commitment to continue practicing mindfulness, meditation, and ethical conduct even when external circumstances are challenging. The practice itself becomes the anchor, the steady force that helps us navigate through the inevitable storms of life. When faced with obstacles, whether external or internal, we can lean into our practice with the confidence that it is the very thing that will help us overcome the challenge. Building resilience, a Buddhist perspective. Resilience, in Buddhist thought, is not simply about enduring suffering or difficulty. It is about cultivating the mental and emotional fortitude to face adversity with wisdom and equanimity. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches that the mind is the key to overcoming suffering. It is the mind that shapes our experience of the world. And through the cultivation of right view, right intention, and mindfulness, we can learn to transform our relationship to suffering. This transformation is the essence of resilience. The number 17 echoes this concept of resilience. It encourages us to face challenges with calmness, understanding, and a sense of purpose. In Buddhist teachings, the practice of meditation plays a crucial role in developing resilience. By observing the fluctuations of the mind without attachment, we begin to build the inner strength needed to endure life's difficulties. This resilience is not about avoiding pain, but about embracing it with the wisdom that comes from seeing it clearly. When challenges arise, the energy of 17 encourages us to remain grounded in our practice. Whether we are experiencing a personal loss, a financial setback, or emotional turmoil, the ability to respond with mindfulness and awareness is what builds resilience. It is through meditation that we develop the capacity to observe our thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. The more we cultivate this awareness, the more resilient we become, able to face life's inevitable challenges with equanimity and inner strength. Resilience through consistent practice. A key element of building resilience is consistent practice. In Buddhism, the path to enlightenment is not a destination but a journey. This journey requires the practitioner to remain steadfast, even when the end seems far off. It is the dedication to daily practice, whether through meditation, mindfulness, or ethical conduct, that creates the resilience necessary to navigate life's obstacles. The number 17 encourages us to stay committed to our practice, knowing that resilience is cultivated over time. It is the daily effort, the repeated return to the cushion, the steady practice of mindfulness in our interactions with others, that gradually strengthens the mind and heart. Resilience is built not in moments of crisis, but in the quiet moments of everyday practice, where we learn to face small challenges with grace and mindfulness. The interplay between numbers 22 and 17, a unified path of growth. Together, the numbers 22 and 17 represent a harmonious balance between vision, discipline, and perseverance. Both numbers emphasize the importance of a long-term view, whether building a life, career, or a spiritual practice. They remind us that true fulfillment does not come from instant gratification, but from a steady and intentional journey toward our goals. In Buddhist philosophy, the path to enlightenment is often depicted as a long and winding road. Both numbers encourage us to remain patient, stay grounded in our values, and continue practicing with diligence and faith, whether in our personal lives or our professional endeavors. The combined energy of 22 and 17 shows us that lasting success comes through a balanced approach that integrates both material and spiritual aspirations. As we reflect on the spiritual significance of the numbers 22 and 17, we realize that they serve as powerful reminders of the deeper journey we all are on. Whether it's the patience and vision required to build a balanced life or the resilience needed to persevere through challenges, these numbers offer us a roadmap for aligning our material ambitions with our spiritual purpose. The teachings they embody are timeless and universal, guiding us toward a life of inner peace, wisdom, and fulfillment. If this video has inspired you to reflect on your own journey, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Your thoughts are important to us, and we would love to continue the conversation. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom for more insightful videos that bring Buddhist teachings to life. Thank you for watching, and may your path be filled with peace, perseverance, and purpose.